The data sets that I've made available include the following. First is a portion of the Wave 1 National Longitudinal Study of Adolescent Health, or AdHealth. This is a nationally representative school-based survey of adolescents in grades 7 through 12 in the United States. AdHealth includes survey data on social, economic, psychological, and physical well-being of adolescents. Next is the Mars Crater Study. As you may know, the planet Mars has terrain that is heavily cratered. These craters were created about 4 billion years ago during a period of heavy bombardment from asteroids, protoplanets, and comets. Made available by researchers at the University of Colorado Boulder, this data set includes characteristics of more than 350,000 of these Mars craters. Also available is a portion of the National Epidemiologic Study of Alcohol and Related Conditions, known as the NESARC. This is a representative sample of the U.S. adult population age 18 and older, and it includes data on mental health and substance use disorders that are experienced by adults. Finally, the Gapminders dataset, which is made available by gapminder.org, includes numerous measures from 195 countries. The data have been collected from various sources, including the World Health Organization, the International Agency for Research on Cancer, the United Nations, and the World Bank. Now, before accessing any data, you will be reviewing the available codebooks from these datasets. Sometimes called data dictionaries, codebooks commonly offer complete information regarding a dataset. That is, general topics addressed, questions and/or measurements used to record each of the variables, and in some cases, the frequency of responses or values of each of the variables. Reviewing a codebook is always the first step in research based on existing data. First of all, codebooks can be used to generate research questions, and secondly, data is often useless and uninterpretable without them. The codebook describes how the data are arranged in the computer file, what the various numbers and letters mean, and any special instructions on how to use the data properly. Like any other book, some codebooks are better than others. Here I have an example from the AdHealth codebook. For each of the variables, you have the description of the variable that is measured. In this case, it's the question, what grade are you in? A codebook will also include the various measurement or response options. So here you can see that possible response options include 7th through 12th grade, refusal to answer the question, a legitimate skip for those not in school, don't know, and the school does not have the grade levels, or the question is not applicable. Aside from including a listing or description of the response options for the variable, the codebook will also include corresponding values that can be found in the dataset. As we saw previously with the medical records dataset example, datasets typically include numbers rather than words. So for categorical variables such as grade level, each of the response options has a corresponding numeric value, and it is that numeric value that can be found in the dataset. You can see that 7th through 12th grade are logically coded as the numbers 7 through 12. 96 indicates that the adolescent refused to answer. 97 indicates a legitimate skip for the adolescents who are not currently in school. 98 indicates don't know, and 99 is recorded in a case where the school does not have grade levels. These numeric values, again, are known as dummy codes, as they are included in the dataset but carry no direct numeric meaning. Here is an excerpt from the Mars Crater Codebook. It includes a description of the variables for the crater's name, latitude, longitude, and diameter, and also the depth of the crater's rim, as well as the variable's name in the dataset. Because most of these are quantitative variables, rather than listing response options, the codebook includes a description of how the variable was measured. For example, latitude is measured in decimal degrees north, longitude is measured in decimal degrees east, and both diameter and depth are measured in kilometers. From the Gapminder dataset, we see a slightly different look to the codebook, but very similar features. You can see that the middle column describes each of the variables. The column on the left indicates the variable name used in the dataset, and finally the right-hand column lists the source of the data. Again, because these are quantitative variables, the codebook includes information on how each of these variables were measured. You can see that income per person is measured in US dollars. Alcohol consumption is measured in liters of pure alcohol. Armed forces is measured as the percent of the total labor force. And finally, breast cancer rate is measured as new cases per 100,000 females.